The SP 500 and the Nasdaq 100, the stock market continues its tangent, if you will. We saw a really good move at market open into basically 20,270, which was our key level above that, and we knew all-time highs would be tested. We ended up dipping after that back down into our key level, 19,950. It's the same level in the Nasdaq we continue to discuss. You can see where that comes from also right there. Now, a better viewpoint if you're unfamiliar with futures, which I recommend if you're trading, get into futures. It gives you direction. But we look at the S&P, you break all-time highs, and then you come back down. And again, you hold our key level mention, 544 to end the day. Now, I want to say one thing before we go too far. It was the end of a month, right? That's very important to understand. This was the end of the month, okay? Monday will be the first. What happened? Blast of the past. Little blast of the past. May 30th, May 31st. Oh, dippy. Oh, weird. That's weird. And then you bounce to start the month. So I'm just saying, end of the month, typically this happens. And again, first half of the year is over. Pat on the back if you were profitable. Look in the mirror if you were not. So again, that's what we're looking at there. You're holding your key level still. No reason to panic whatsoever, in my opinion. Now, we go to the heat map. And again, there's a few things that I want to say here. Again, few things that stand out to me. Tech looked really good this morning, but semiconductors look fine. Again, end of the day green. That's a positive. The rest of the market, Dow specifically, end of the day, very green. Very healthcare. Almost healthcare plans, quotation marks, around almost 2.6%. Banks, very good. Very important what's happening with banks. Again, semiconductors, equipment, etc., looking really good, right? Very important that we understand that. Energy also finished green. Going back, though, let's really look at what's happening here, especially with the Dow, right? The Dow futures. You're holding up, you're a bit in our range, okay? Now, we saw for a second you got over your level here, 39.65 roughly. We need to get back above this level here on Dow. That's one thing that needs to take place. Bounce and start pushing back up. But when we zoom out, we can still see here on the Dow, you are making higher lows since April, over and over and over. So you're still very bullish here, wanting to break out. And you can really see that pennant that's kind of forming here on higher time frames as well. Very interesting to see and how this will end up playing out, because the Dow definitely has been the lagger. But I think once this gets started, like I've been mentioning, you're going to see a lot of movement start to take place in the overall market. Okay. Now, the big things that happened here on the day were PCE inflation numbers. Okay. And again, I was trying to warn you, told you guys all about this. This was a big deciding factor. We moved basically 200 points at market open, right? That's worth mentioning, right? So PCE specifically, core data there, core PCE, right? Month over month. We can still see what's happening there on the downtrend. Very good overall, right? Came out at consensus. We also went over yesterday that, a lot of people didn't expect PC to be this good based on PC prices. Was a little bit of a concern, but you still look good. Core PC over year also very good. Continues on the downside push. This is what we wanted to see, right? Things that you have to be paying attention to. We also go into what was being said around the market here, okay? Again, I was listening to an economist this morning, and they were talking about overall expectations, because this was like the first inflation reading that almost every bank had a different opinion of what was going to happen here. And this was the best, in their words, not mine, this was the best case scenario, or the best one could hope for. And again, this has to push the Fed more to that stance of a cut sooner than later, right? Worth mentioning. Now, I don't believe we're there yet, and the Fed hasn't given us any reason to assume a cut is coming. I want to make sure that's understood. There's no room or no words from the Fed about a cut happening. It's only actually been the opposite. A cut is not happening for this year. But I want to say something, and I was talking earlier in Discord, and I was talking on Twitter as well. Look, I'm telling you right now, the market has almost priced in this idea that cuts aren't happening, I would say. Right? We've seen a lot of dips from that news. So I think the possibility or a cut even on the table, if that does get pushed back out there, is very bullish. So broad market, I still like it. I still think we look really good. Now, going into next week, though, again, going back to our calendar, I want to warn you, next week is big. Mucho bigo weeko, okay? When we look at next week, okay, it's going to be a short week, because when we look at this calendar, I'm just going to tell you, I don't even want to go over this, but so Wednesday is going to be a half day. So around noon is when the market closes, 1 p.m. Eastern. What is happening? What is, okay, right here, it changed on me, okay? So Wednesday, half day. Thursday, Market closed Friday, normal hours. Very short week. So understand that. I expect pretty trash movement. I expect the following week, though, okay, the week after, going into the 8th, to be very good. Very good volume. I think we should start looking better. But again, as we look at markets, this is Moo, by the way, so you can check them out. But yeah, by the way, that's what we're looking at there. So again, I don't have crazy expectations over the weekend, but I do believe at the end of the day, we had a lot of opportunities, because as we start to attack some of these stocks, you're going to see we had some big dips to end the day. Apple dropping. Microsoft, pretty nice drop here to end the day, around $6, right? Crazy, $7, really wild. We can go over Amazon. Big drop, almost down to we really I call this the please God level. Like, please God, let us hit that level, right? I can go over it's almost every name out there. Google, right? But interesting enough, one of the sectors that didn't get hit that hard was Nvidia. Nvidia semiconductors. Surprising. It's almost like they're valuing semiconductors as the value play here, where they're at. Okay, so this is the interesting thing of what we're looking at here, and what I believe we have to be paying attention to. That's why I think that when we really look at the heat map, it really helps you get a grasp of what's withholding the dump the most here. So again, really quick, favorite plays out there right now. I'm going to tell you right now, before we even jump into the video, favorite names out there. I am telling you guys, because I just don't want to forget Nvidia. I think at the end of the day, just today in general, I think you're getting the biggest opportunity on Nvidia. I'm telling you right now. I like a lot of the contracts here. And I'm gonna go more to the chart here in a second, but I like the 19th of July, even though it's shorter dated. I like the August 6th, the August 16th contracts, also fantastic. I think the July 19th are a little bit better, but I'm just telling you right now. Love it. Again, if you guys are interested, this is the broker that I use, Moo. The link is down below, so you can check them out. A lot of rewards, a lot of special bonuses when you sign up, so you can do all that. I'm not going to go into all that, but again, when you see me using this platform, that's what I use, who I trade with, so make sure you check them out if you want to support the channel. But yeah, going into that, I just want to talk about this, right? Cat's caught my tongue, right? A little choked up. Now, ideally, you want to get back above 125.5, right? Above that level, you look really good. So I want to make sure that's clear, that I'm not just saying hammer it, go long, all in. But it perplexes me, guys. When we look, and I'm going to go on a rant here. When we look at the market, everyone's like, do I buy Nvidia while you're going straight up? Oh, straight up. And it's worth mentioning, when you were at 1,000, we talked about how this was going to happen. And then, and no one wanted to buy down here, but now we want to buy up here. Okay. But now that we're here, people are like, well, should I buy Micron? Should I buy AMD? And I'm not saying those are bad names, but why are we not talking about the top dog here when you finally get an opportunity, right? We talked about it down here when you had to bounce at 118, from, Monday, right? It was a huge topic for discussion here, right? So I have to discuss this because it's just the most important name out there. Ideally, if you're trying to trade this, you want the safest entry above 125.5. You go long, you play the upside. Ideally, right? I want to just say that. But I still believe longer dated contracts down here make sense. I want to make that known. And giving you more of a visual, this to me, it's like a no-brainer for me. But sometimes it might be a no-brainer for me, but you guys might not see the same vision, right? The CEO of Nvidia, it's worth mentioning, earlier in the year, I think things have changed if you've really been tracking Nvidia. Earlier in the year, or last year, not even this year, worth mentioning, that you had him talking about AI and this and this and that, and really hyping the stock up. But really, once you broke out, in December, January this year, or past year, I want this to be really, he hasn't been going on the AI hype train. He's really just let his numbers speak for themselves, right? So we know the revenue is just crazy. It's growing literally absurd. They're up, I think their earnings in the past, since February 2023, their earnings have 4x'd, 400% revenue growth. Just understand that. Okay, so if that's not enough, whatever. And again, this is just if you're interested in the semiconductor space. why I don't know why people aren't like focused on Nvidia rather than the other names. But now he says he does his event. Jensen shout, bro, this guy's the real greatest CEO of all time. Like, you know, he's like the LeBron. Steve Jobs is kind of like Michael Jordan, right? Right. Except I actually think, I don't know. I think that's the argument here, right? So people won't understand that reference, right? But NVIDIA's Blackwell could be the most successful product in the history. Jensen Huang. Guys, they have sold out of this fucking product for like the next year. They just don't have any. And I think he's being modest. So anyways, it's amazing. I don't know what to say. NVIDIA is probably one of the biggest opportunities on this dip going dated. And I know some of you guys think like, oh my God, I don't want to buy a dated contract. But a lot of you guys too are thinking, I can't buy NVIDIA stock, or I don't want to buy, 100 shares of NVIDIA. I think people think of stock the wrong way. I think you should be thinking of stock as a way to, or options as a way to leverage your stock sometimes. And I think you have that opportunity. A great example, and again, these are dated, so like I just want to make that clear. Like for January, like go look at like the 150s, for instance. They're at $10. Like, again, I'm not telling you to buy these. Do your own research. Definitely do your own research. But like, I mean, I'm just saying they got value. They're starting to get value, right? They really are, right? Your low, I think low was like $11, right? So, I mean, again, I'm just trying to clarify the value is now out there because there's a real possibility that these, and this was almost in the money. So again, rant over. NVIDIA still looks awesome. You get the gist of it, right? That was literally like a long rant. The point of it though is find the value, guys. Again, Apple. Great example here, guys. Today's video is gonna be a lot different than usual, right? I'm gonna start going over my feelings on the market now, really explaining what I'm going over, not just quickness, right? She said she likes quality, the motion of the ocean, not just the speed, right? That's what they say at least, right? Apple, you drop down to 206, 207, great bounce, just pure value, right? Now, what I will say is, end of the day, I do think this was like a terrible dip. Like, I didn't want to see it, but I still like the bounce you're getting back up. If you stay above a 211.6, I'm very happy, very bullish on this position, still over that level, would be watching it. Again, 2025 contracts, I can only say it so many times. They move great. The most recent contracts that I bought on Apple, I mentioned them in Discord as well. That was for, I believe, October. I sold a lot of those, but I look to buy more. But yeah, so anyways, do what you gotta do with that. Also, too, guys, before I forget, I'm all over the place today. I apologize. But if you go on our Twitter, the link is down below. Make sure and it should be a link down below as well. But just want to highlight that if you are looking to get in Discord, spots will open up. We did the wait list this time because people were just like not able to jump in, and it was selling out too quick. So if you join the wait list, you should be able to get in no matter what. You'll get like first come, first serve, and you won't have to be there like immediately at midnight. So that should help out. I hope it does. Anyways, so make sure you have that as well. The link will be down below. Spots open up Monday. So again, let's go over a little bit more names. Probably my favorite name out there, other than like Nvidia and obviously with that big rant, is Amazon. I'm extremely happy with what they're doing, and I am enthusiastic about the dip that you got today. I want to see us bounce and test ultimately 191.6 is your previous all-time high. This was your previous high from 2021. I want to see us mount that level. I want to see a retest, and I want to see a bounce off that. That's what I want to see. It's my please God level. I'm at a crossroads here because I didn't think we were going to get this dip. We had a nice push in day trade this morning, but I didn't think this dip was going to come so soon, especially. I like dated contracts on Amazon as well. The problem is they're expensive. That's the problem. I still think contracts like October are really nice on Amazon as well. I look at these contracts. I still think they're good. Highs around $15. They're currently I think they reached lows of like $11.20 or something earlier. Still nice. Not a crazy amount of risk. I like them. You can go for something like August 2 if you want, or September. More risk, obviously, inclined there, but still, I like them. Do what you got to do. I like Amazon a lot. They're going to get cheaper too if they come down to our entry level. So definitely watching that one as well. Exxon, oil. People keep asking about this one. Okay, we had our downtrend. You broke out of it. You broke your key level, 114.8 basically. And guess what? This morning you gapped up to 116.5. I ended up trimming some of my position. I started just reloading it right when you came back down to our key level mounted. Right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We know energy. Energy, it needs to be a big talk now, especially because of the Trump debate last night. So Exxon, when I told you guys about these contracts, okay, let's look at them. They were below $5. Below, and these are January 17th, 2025. For a contract 6 months, 7 months out, whatever it is, right? Again, they went up over 40% from $5 into over, was a high 625 at open this morning. Again, do what you got to do. I just talk about what I'm trading, what I'm buying, the opportunity out there. Again, why do I like this? XLE. Energy. This honestly might end up being one of the plays of the year. I'm going to tell you right now, Exxon might be the play of the year, at least into the end of the year. XLE on higher time frames. This goes back to 2022. It's an ascending triangle trying to break out. It's incredibly bullish. We go into XOM. It's leading XLE. It actually looks better. Higher lows being established, ranging almost. I mean, you're basically there. This thing honestly could run past and go in towards 130. You're at 115. Again, the contracts are dirt cheap. They're still under $6 for 120s. And again, do the math, right? Really do the math on the value of these things if you start moving. Really, really do the math here. These things could go crazy, 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 crazy. So again, very important that we're understanding that. The big catch here, too, is U.S. oil, crude oil. Again, pinching here, which, again, if you think inflation is going to become an issue down the line, which I think inflation will, I really do. I don't think we're going to solve this before the election. Again, you have to be pretty bullish on oil, and I think oil does look pretty good here. Also, on top of this, oil, in my opinion, will get stronger ahead of the election, especially now because of Trump. I believe, personally, Trump is the clear winner moving forward based on politics, just in like the race right now. Unless they sub out Biden, I see no earthly way that they win. Even if people think that they're going to cheat, or they're like, you think, oh, Biden didn't win the first time, whatever. I don't care, right? I think it was so bad, I personally, that there is no world in which they could even prove, they couldn't even convince people. Like, they couldn't even convince the far left at this point that Biden could win. I'm telling you right now. It was so bad, the entire Democratic Party on social media and live news had a mental breakdown. Like, literally everyone. It was actually bizarre. Oil should get a lot of strength from the idea of Trump coming back into office. Something that I highlighted earlier, again, on Discord, was at the beginning of Trump's presidency, or around that time, February 2016, January, oil was really bad. Down 20. This is interesting to look at, too, because oil's been taking a hit, too. But again, you ended up running for the next year, 2 years, right? 2.5 years, give or take, up to $77 from $29, $30. Now, I'm not saying that's all Trump, but I'm just saying with his policies, you ended up dipping after, but there was a lot of things that happened during that time. He's still definitely pro-oil, okay? Now, during this time, obviously, based on what's happened with inflation, based on what's happened with Russia, etc., oil has dipped down from like 122, which is the greatest oil run of all time, to now. Again, I think it's very similar where we're at. Very similar. I'm telling you guys, I think Exxon, I think oil could be one of the top plays. Top plays to the end of the year. So definitely going to be riding this, watching this name. If it ever gets a breakout of 120, put your dancing shoes on. That's what I got to say. Other names out there right now, we saw some big breakdowns like from Meta. I think some of these names are still very strong, but these were some of the weaker names out there near the end of the day. Meta, Netflix giving up a lot of territory. Microsoft still looks good, but it gave up a lot of territory. You don't like to see that, but bouncing back in the after hours. Those are the concerns here. But I will say, and I did kind of shit on Micron a little bit ago, but I still think Micron's interesting, and it's at a buying point. Okay, Micron reminds me of Dell. And guys, I'm kind of going off today. What do they say? What do the youngsters say? I'm quote unquote feeling myself, right? If we look at Micron, you're coming back into previous highs. Our key level again to get really bullish is back above 136. Look at Dell. I told you guys about Dell a few weeks ago, right? We talked about it. You came back down to your previous high right there. You mounted it. got back above your key level. Once you got above 136, boom, shakalaka, you went to 160. Now, again, I'm not saying that has to happen. I think Micron's probably a better performer, most likely, than Dell, a safer play. But yeah, so again, above 130, I think the risk reward is really tight, so it makes sense. I mean, honestly, you could have like literally like a $2 stop, and you're looking really for like a pushback into 142. You could go higher. Really, if semiconductors go crazy again, which is a total possibility. So again, very strong overall. Okay, wrapping it up, let's go into DXY. What's happening there across the board? Okay, DXY did have some weakness from market open, worth mentioning. Still having weakness. The weird part was yields. Yields were weird today. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yields this morning obviously dropped, then went crazy. Went like rocket launcher. They went SpaceX games mode on us. This was crazy. So we want to see what happens with yields going into next week. Was this a fluke? What is happening there? Because I do believe like there is the possibility that the Fed gets more to that lenient side of maybe we have a cut if data persists. And again, it's worth mentioning. We have some time until the next Fed meeting. So like we're going to get more CPI and PPI reports. And this is going to be important to see how this plays out. But again, I think the ticking time bomb too is like if oil continues, it's going to negatively affect CPI and PPI. Like things you have to be considering here. So again, what I'm watching, what I'm paying attention to, hopefully that wasn't too big of a, a stock dump. If you guys like these longer type videos, I don't mind doing these. I just try to do what you guys like the most. Let me know down below in the comments. Again, too, if you want to support the channel, if you guys want to get signed up with Moomoo, the link is down below. So I use my options, stocks, everything in between. So I post on Twitter all the time as well. So make sure you tap in, check them out as well. All of our indicators are down below as well. Have a good one, traders. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Happy 4th of July.